Well, hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Chris and Amanda Show. Oh. I know, I always want there to be like that echo effect
I
there, but I
know.
don't have it.
That's like we've made it if there's an echo.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yes.
Yes.
Anyone listening, give us an echo.
Yeah. Or you know what else we may need? Maybe we need like someone to come on and like announce us, kind of like the beginning of a rock show, like when Guns N' Roses plays or like Kiss plays. They go,
Ooh.
you wanted the best, you got the best, the hottest band in the land. Cheers. Something like that. Like we need somebody to like kind of like give us an intro. We need somebody else, not us, to do like an awesome intro.
The most obnoxious music host in history, Chris and Amanda.
There you go. I mean, is that so much to ask?
Not at all. Hey, if you have a voice for a podcast and you want to announce Chris and Amanda, bring it on.
Bring it on. Oh, well, listen, all new for 2023.
Yeah, if we have enough participation, each person could do their own episode.
Yeah, exactly. We know what you could do is you could actually call in and leave a voicemail message on our hotline as an audition. So let this be known. We're open auditions for being the announcer of the Chris and Amanda Show. Just call 973-506-8009, 973-506-8009, +1 if you're dialing outside the United States. And audition your announcement for the Chris and Amanda Show. We'll play them live here, and we'll let everybody vote on them or something like that. We'll put them in the group.
What are we, 10 seconds into the show and we already went down a really deep rabbit hole? Do you see how we do this?
Literally 10 seconds into the show and already we're like contest announcements, like everything. We haven't even gotten to like what the show's about yet today.
And none of which was planned.
No. This is how this show works.
I mean, we plan very little for this show. Yes, we listen to the music. We critique the music. We rate the music. But other than that, nothing is scripted. It's just ourselves being obnoxious for an hour.
I mean, that is 100% the truth of the show. Like, there is some prep, but the rest of it is very spontaneous. I swear to you all, that's very much what happens. Although we do have a format. We do follow our format, though.
We have a format, but truly, when we say nothing scripted, like we truly mean, like, I would be embarrassed to show you my notes. There's some occasional LOLs and ha-ha-has.
We should do a contest for that. Win Amanda's notes.
Oh my gosh, for a year.
For a year, you can win Amanda's notes.
And when we're big and famous, Chris, maybe those notes will be worth money.
They might be. Because
Chris's notes are all digital. Mine end up on pink paper.
That's true. Yeah, yours are at least like pretty. Mine are just like cold and digital and sterile.
Which is more relevant to 2022 than pink paper. Like, this is straight from the 80s. But I did order it new.
Yeah. Yes, you did.
Where's my Lisa Frank stickers?
You know what you need like a colored like Amanda Sharp stationery to put your notes on.
Ooh.
Maybe that's what I'm going to get you for Christmas.
Here you go, giving me ideas.
Your very own stationery. And then, then you could rip it off and give it away. And it'll have like your stationery. So it'll be branded to Amanda Sharp.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I mean, this show just keeps getting better and better.
Look at this.
The stationery.
Boom. Look at this think tank happening. Well, we want to welcome all of you to the Chris and Amanda Show think tank as we, just brainstorm ideas for the next season of the show here. But in all seriousness, we do want to welcome you all. Thank you all so much for choosing to spend some time with us here, whether you're watching this show live, which we do every single Monday at 8:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch us on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube live, or if you're catching a replay of this on YouTube or anywhere you get podcasts, we do welcome and we are extremely thankful and appreciative that you choose to listen to our little show. And as we said on our previous episode, which would have been our Thanksgiving episode, we have noticed in the stats, and it continues to climb, Amanda Sharp, we have a really cool listening audience in the UK. I you know what? Is it James Scott's doing? Maybe he was the spark that lit the powder keg in the UK, being on an episode of his show Across the Pond. But I got to tell you, we love our UK audience, and they continue to support and they continue to keep listening and downloading the show.
Agreed. And how fitting that our artist that we're reviewing today at the end of the show is actually from the UK. So
Yes.
full circle here, full circle.
Yes, absolutely. And yes, good morning, Mr. Mark Ronick. Thank you
Good
so much for
morning.
checking in with us today. We appreciate you. And yeah, and so that's the benefits of watching live is that you can check in like this.
Absolutely. Get some shout
Yeah.
outs.
Yeah, so we have a really busy show today. We have a lot to do, right? And as Amanda just mentioned, we do have an indie artist spotlight at the end of the show. We're featuring the UK artist Alex Kate, and we have a great song that we're going to be talking about and reviewing and featuring at the end of the show. But we do have a show to do.
You do.
And, in keeping with the spirit, because we know December is going to be a lot of holiday. I'm just going to, spoiler alert, we're going to do a lot of holiday themed episodes for the rest of December. Our treat to you, whether you like it or not.
You're welcome.
We will be giving you the spirit of the holidays over the next several weeks. However, today, we're going a little retro.
Mm-hmm.
We're dialing it back. We're jumping into our cartoon time machines. And Amanda Sharp, what are we doing today?
Today we are going full nostalgia because, when you think of Thanksgiving and Christmas that's coming up, you kind of go back to your childhood, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And we got to thinking, like, how fun would it be if we chose our 3 favorite songs from cartoons from the 80s?
Yes.
I mean,
it's
what's not to like about that thought?
No, exactly. And what I love about this is that, it ties into what we're going to in the holidays. Because, literally, you watch these shows growing up, being a kid in the 80s. I was mid-70s, 80s kid. And growing up then, like, you watch these cartoons all year long. Yeah. And what was on your Christmas list to Santa was pretty much the toys from these cartoons.
Absolutely agreed. So we nestled in this little episode, I think, so fittingly between the holidays, and I'm really excited to talk about mine and hear about yours. And I don't know, we didn't even talk about the rules. We were just excited. Are we rating them?
I think we could rate them whether or not they stand up. I think that's whether they hold up through time.
Okay.
And maybe their influence. We could talk about that. But of course, we want to hear from you as well. So as we're going along, if you're watching this live, let us know what some of your favorite cartoon theme songs were as we go, or the ones that we're going to be sharing, what your thoughts are, if you liked them, if you didn't like them, if you watched the show, if you didn't watch the show. We'd love to hear from you. If you're catching the replay of this, as I said, there's still plenty of ways for you to participate in this. One is you can call the hotline and leave us a message, and we will play it on the show, 973-506-8009. All that is in our show notes below. Number 2 is you could join our Facebook group, the Chris and Amanda Show Backstage group, and you could participate in there. We have posts, we have polls, we're doing all kinds of stuff, so you could absolutely do that. And number 3 is you could leave a comment wherever you're watching this, whether it's on YouTube or on our social channels, and we will make sure that your voice gets heard. That's what Amanda and I do. We love that. Before we go on, though, we've got to pay the bills around here.
Yes, we do.
And we absolutely love our sponsors because our sponsors are really what helps us keep the lights on here, as they say. Because, listen, Amanda and I, there are some bills to pay here at the Chris and Amanda Show, and we just love the sponsors that really believe in our show. And also, likewise, we believe in our sponsors. And in particular, our sponsor who has been we're so appreciative of that they've been able to sponsor us for the last several weeks and are continuing to sponsor us, but that is campsite.bio. And even before they were a sponsor, I think that you'd heard us talking about campsite.bio. And if you've been on any of our social channels, you'll always see that link in our bio is our campsite.bio link. And, I can't say enough great things about them. I mean, they are just, number one, they're a dynamite company to work with. Their customer service is really, really unique and just special, and they get back to you right away. But I love the level of customization. We're able to integrate our branding into our bio link. We're also able to embed actually our YouTube channel, our Spotify playlist. It's all there. Like, if you actually click on it, on our link in our bio, which is our campsite.bio link, like, you can actually just stay right in there and listen and watch the show. All the links to all where you can listen to the show are there. Links to our mailing list, which you could actually sign up for, like, right there as well. It's just a really unique tool, and I absolutely love it. It's like basically the Swiss Army knife of internet bio links. It really is. I mean, I just absolutely love using it. And I mean, I know Amanda, you've been able to use it too, and I think you've even started signing up some of the clients you've had with it and
Yes,
all that.
yes. Yeah, it's super fun. And because when we love our products, no different than Mark Ronick, who was a previous sponsor. I mean,
Yep.
we've used him and we are passionate about him and his results. We're the same. We feel the same about Campsite Bio. And Chris, when we started this show a couple years ago, I mean, I know we dreamed of sponsors, but to be able to get like sponsors like what we've been getting is a big deal. I'm so proud of us.
Yes, I am too. It's very good. We are very, very proud, and we're super happy to have them as an amazing sponsor here for the Chris and Amanda show. So basically, listen, it's pretty simple. If you want to convert more followers into customers, you should be using campsite.bio. It's blazing fast. You get analytics. You get an email sent to you every single week so you can see what's going on. Their dashboard is excellent. Their user interface is great. And honestly, I really can't say enough great things about this company, and that's why I've continued to use them for over a year now, and I will continue to use them. So there's two ways you can get connected with campsite.bio right now. One of them is you can actually use the link in our show notes below, and you can sign up for free and start using their product. And as a special gift from the Chris and Amanda show, you can actually also sign up for a pro plan right now. Use the code in our show notes or the bio link below, and you will get $10 off your pro plan, which I will say, go all in on that pro plan. Try it out for free. Make sure you dig it, but you're going to dig it, and you're going to want that pro plan, because once you get that pro plan, oh boy, your world's an oyster, man.
Hashtag GoPro.
That's it. Hashtag GoPro. So check it out, campsite.bio. We love them. Please support them. And that is all she wrote.
Woo!
Amanda Sharp, let's do our show.
Let's do this.
Let's go.
Let's do this. All right.
Top 80s cartoon theme songs. So,
Chris, your list to me just warmed my heart, because when I saw all of your three.
Well, listen, you and I could have made like each a top 10 list, but we're like, once again, we got to keep it to 3.
Absolutely.
So these are 3 from each of us.
So Chris has chosen cartoon theme songs to me from the 80s this week, where Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Transformers, and Muppet Babies, which almost was on my list. So spoiler alert.
I'm glad you gave me your list first, because in that way we didn't have doubles. Because I know you and I were like, should we share each other's lists for each other? And I'm like, no, we should, so that way we don't have doubles and all that. But yeah. But I love your list as well, because you had some bangers on here. All right, so your theme songs that you picked were Gem and the Holograms.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. My Little Pony.
Yeah.
Such an Amanda Sharp pick right there. And of course, which is a good one, DuckTales.
Ooh.
Ooh. Love it. So
tell me you can't hear that and not go ooh.
Ooh. So, all right. So how are we starting this? Where do you want to start?
Oh my goodness. So Johnny Pica just hopped on, and we are thrilled, because I think, and Mark, we're thrilled to have you as well. So we want to hear your recommendations as well. But Johnny, you were behind the scenes talked about that we thought you would be a really great contributor to today's show. So we're happy that you're able to be on here and give us some of your favorite.
Well, don't worry, Johnny. We will still come on and do your show. This is why I wanted you guys to take over Saturday morning show, and here you are doing it on your own show. Don't worry. There's still plenty of time.
Don't worry.
And plenty of hours.
Yeah. We just reach a sliver of people. You reach like a million.
Yeah, exactly. Gene White Jr. checking. DuckTales theme is the jam. Oh, see, it's starting already. All right, we got to get going. We got to start. Let's start diving into this. All right.
You go first, because I just love my first song so much.
All right. So let's do this. Okay, because I do have everything lined up.
Okay.
So that way we can, because listen, I got to say, not all of our viewers or any of our listeners, some of these people may not know some of these cartoons, depending on where you were. So let's start with Gem and the Holograms. Like, what was this show, right? So let's start there.
Ooh.
All right. So here we go. So Gem in the Holograms. Actually, it was known as Gem and the Holograms. It was an American animated music television series that ran from 1985 to 1998. Actually, I didn't even realize it lasted that long. The series is about a record company owner, Jerrica Benton, and her singer alter ego, Gem, and the adventures of Gem and her band, the Holograms. This series was a joint collaboration between Hasbro, Sunbow Productions, and Marvel Productions. The same team responsible for G.I. Joe and the Transformers. The creator of the series, Christy Marks, has also been a staff writer for the aforementioned programs. The animation for the most of the episodes was provided by Japanese animation studio Toei Animation, and some provided by South Korean studio AKOM. And I think one of the most notable things about this show was that there was a band in there, the rival.
Oh my gosh.
The Misfits.
The Misfits.
You can't get away from the Misfits.
No, gosh, they're so good.
All right, so let's check out the theme song for Gem and the Holograms. Let's check this out. Gem!
Oh, here they come.
There's the
Those naughty
Misfits.
girls. I mean, doesn't this just look fabulous? Oh my gosh, yeah, like
I could totally see you karaokeing that, by the way.
I've never thought to do that, and I should. And talk about Christmas gifts, like I had the Gem dolls.
You had I was just going to ask you if you had the Gem dolls.
They were basically a slightly larger version of Barbies.
That's right. That's right.
And they had huge feet. So like you had like the tiny like Barbie feet that were itty bitty, and like Gem shoes were like so much bigger because the bodies themselves weren't bad, but the feet clearly changed. So you couldn't like use the same shoes, but you could use the same clothes.
Right. Now I remember the show. I will say I always, like I said, I didn't even remember that it ran for this long. I think maybe I watched the first, I got to go back and rewatch because I only ever remember watching one season of Gem, you know. But I do remember it being a really cool cartoon. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure I watched it with my sister. So if my sister Stephanie's listening, check in with that or let us know because I'm pretty sure you and I used to watch that together. But I gotta tell you, it's the great thing I loved about 80s like cartoon theme songs and the reoccurring theme is that you literally got like the entire story of the what the show's about in the theme song.
Yes.
Like, you literally got that like exposition like right up front.
It was absolutely spelled out. Like you were introduced to the people. Yeah, I agree. It was great.
Johnny Pike is checking in here with some information. So, well, first of all, he's already throwing in and you know what? I got to tell you, Johnny, this was on my list, but once again, Amanda and I had to keep it to 3, so this was tough. But yeah, Thundercats is hands down the best of the 80s. I agree, one of the best. I didn't make the list only because I had to narrow it down to 3, but it would be in my top 5 for sure. Also saying Gem, Samantha Newark, is a friend of mine, and you can see her interview on back of the cereal box. So I love the plug there, Johnny. So if you want to check out an interview with Samantha Newark, check out her interview on back of the cereal box.
Yeah, Johnny, and if you want to throw that link right in the comments so everyone can kind of go over there, please do because it's worth a listen.
Yes, and also saying, Johnny, the cool thing about Gem is that they actually recorded 2 original songs for each episode, and they became several albums. That is correct, my friend.
I have the tapes. I
was gonna say I remember those tapes. You have them?
I did. Oh my god. Well, I doubt I still have them. They might be in my attic though. I have a very small amount of things. Oh my god.
Find them. Please find them.
Oh, maybe they're there.
If you find those, we have to make a post out of those.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
So, did you know that they also had another rival band? Do you remember the other rival band on Gem and Holograms?
Let me think. I can't think of the name.
The other rival band besides the Misfits was the Stingers, and they were in season 3.
I was going to say, I don't really remember them.
Yep. They, as it says here, originally from Germany, the Stingers are composed of egotistical lead singer Riot, guitarist, con artist Rapture, and keyboardist Minx.
Minx. That is so fabulous.
Yes.
Oh man, I feel like this is a morning when we were young in the 80s and we're just watching our favorite shows.
So the big question is, does it hold up? Does Gem and the Holograms as a cartoon theme song hold up? Now, I know it's the 80s, and a lot of 80s things have actually really come back, I'd say, very recently. Does it hold up in 2022, going into 2023? Does it hold up?
Yeah, we're just a few weeks away.
Yeah.
This is my number one pick, and I think that this may be, of all of them, the one that holds up the least.
Okay.
For 2022. What are your thoughts?
So, after re-listening to this, I gotta tell you, I really love the 80s synthwave factor of Gem and the Holograms. And I'm gonna be straight up with you. I always loved the Misfits factor. I always loved the Misfits. Well, because they were more edgy and more punk rock. I mean, come on, you know. But I actually have a soft spot for this. But I will say, I think that out of all the songs that we're talking about today, it would probably, I don't know. I think it's gonna rank higher than your next song.
But about the brand itself.
I feel like it still could be very relevant. I don't know. I feel like a lot of 80s retro things are getting new life. And I feel like that this could, like, I feel like this could find a real new audience. I don't even know if you need a reboot. I don't know. Maybe I like the original of this. I'm actually, after you kind of bringing this back on my radar, I think I'm gonna go back and rewatch.
Well, it's got
the original series.
And check out Johnny Pica's last comment. What?
Oh, the dolls are coming back in 2023. Look at that.
I probably will be buying them all.
I guarantee you will.
That would be, oh my goodness, that's fun.
That's awesome.
See, Johnny's got the hookup with all the Johnny's
got the hookup.
I know his collection of action figures and stuff has to be just ginormous at this point.
I think so.
All right, Chris. So I think there's some potential with Jim and the Holograms here.
I think there's potential. I would say it holds up. I'm gonna go with it holds up.
Okay. All right. I like that.
All right.
Now, moving on to your first one.
Yes.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Chris
I love the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
As did I.
I definitely was a comics fan first of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So I don't know if there's people out there who don't know who the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are. However, if you don't, I'm going to give you a very, very, very brief history. So basically, they were originally a comic book series created by Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird, and I got sucked into that comic book back in the day. I absolutely fell in love with it, and when they started making the animated TV show out of it, I absolutely loved this animated show. And when they even released the first film, I think on the day it came out, I think I saw it like 4 or 5 times with my buddy JP, who was the one who actually got me into Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the comic book, before any of this. So I absolutely fell in love with them. I actually still have all the figures. They're actually up here.
Up high.
Like right up high for those of you who, I'm just going to reboot, but if you can see them. Whoop, there they are.
There they are. Love
right
them.
Over there. You can see them up there. Those are the original figures that were released back in the day. So I absolutely love Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So I think that this theme song absolutely personifies. It tells you the whole story of the Turtles in one quick theme song. I love it. So I'm gonna play it.
Fantastic.
Let's listen to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Let's do it.
And then we'll decide, does it hold up?
Okay.
All right, here we go. Let's get this going here. Teenage Mutant. So I already hear it. I already hear it.
Right? I challenge anyone.
Here we go.
Heroes in a half shell. They're the world's most fearsome fighting team.
love it. And they're green. I love it.
Right.
It's so great. So happy.
It's the best. Keep it going.
Heroes in a half shell, turtle power.
I love the little dance at the
Yeah,
end.
you know what I really like is the 80s weren't skimpy
Yeah.
with
No.
their theme song allowance. Like they allowed a healthy amount of time for theme song intro.
They did. I mean, a fact too that this is like a minute and 27 seconds.
Yes, that's
It's like turtle
serious.
power.
Yeah, that's serious real estate that they allowed for every episode. And we've got a lot of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fans coming on in the comments. Holy cow.
Yeah, comments are blowing up here. So we got Ashley Danielle Feller checking in with yes, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Turtle power.
Turtle powers, right.
Yeah, Mark Ronick with I interviewed Peter Lard when I was in high school for my comic book magazine that I sold at local. Oh my god, I would love
cool.
to read that, Mark. That is awesome.
If you have some sort of link, put it in the comments, please, Mark.
Yes, I have to read all these. These are great. Yes, I agree. Teenage Mutant has that classic 80s sound to it. It absolutely does. It's got that like the keyboard, the synthesizer with like the rock and guitar in there. It's so great. And you get the whole story of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in that theme song. You know everything you need to know about the Turtles right there.
So good.
Yes, Johnny Pike has said, yes, it holds up.
Love it.
Ashley, the drums on this record, they're amazing. This is like 80s synth drums. Yeah. John Pike, I got a hosted Q&A with Kevin Easton on the first indie pop.
So cool.
Awesome. And Mark Ronick, I think I have it somewhere.
That's great.
I got to see it.
Woo! So there's a lot of love for this theme song, and I don't disagree.
I listen, I think I've said all I had to say about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I absolutely love it. Yes, this holds up. And
it never stopped holding up. Like it has been reinvented and reignited and relaunched and stayed so relevant.
It really has.
Then. Like it's amazing.
Yeah, no, it absolutely has. And I agree with Johnny Pike's next statement here. But what's most amazing about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is that they have become a permanent part of American pop culture, crossing over into other IPs and properties. Yes, like Batman, Power Rangers, and many more. I loved the Batman and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comic book run. It was so fun to read. I want more of that. It was just great. That was so much fun. Gene White, I knew that 90% of the words, the fact that I knew 90% of the words of that song without hearing it in years makes it hold up for me. Correct. Exactly.
And that's why I think we're loving this episode so much, is because it's perfect. Like the holidays bring out our child spirit, and this is what it's doing. I mean, these are core memories that are in our heads.
Yeah. And actually, I bought all those. I bought all those figures that I'd shown before. So for those of you that weren't listening, that aren't watching the video version of this, go back and watch the video version, because what I was showing before was my original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle figures. I bought all of those at KB Toys. All of them.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about KB Toys.
KB Toys at the Willowbrook Mall.
Toys. Oh.
Yeah.
That is so precious. So
Yes.
I think mutual consensus here is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, powerful, lives on forever. Well done, Chris, with that choice.
Lives on forever. Okay. I think we're all in agreement on that. All right, so your next pick, Amanda Sharp.
Oh, it's so happy.
It is so happy. So, Amanda, why don't you talk a little bit about your next pick?
My Little Pony. And you know what? I have to say, this is like show for show, almost like at the same pace as Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I mean, it is still very relevant. The toys are still being sold, just in a different thing. And I had the whole nursery set.
You did.
I did. Like, it opened
Wow.
up. I had a huge collection. In fact, I still have it.
Nice.
Up in my
Look
attic.
at
It was one
you.
of the things that I couldn't give away. Like, I really, really have a social attachment to My Little Pony, like, literally My Little Ponies.
Right. They're yours.
I and the song just is sweet and it's happy and it just takes me back to really simpler times, and I just love it.
So, for anybody that doesn't know what My Little Pony is or was, I mean, it's still going.
Yeah.
In various other medias and all kinds of stuff. But My Little Pony was originally a 1986-1987 American television series produced by Sunbow Productions and Marvel Productions.
It's blowing my mind.
What does Marvel not own? And animated by Toei Animation and AKOM, based on the My Little Pony toys released by Hasbro.
The
And
market share. Whew.
and I definitely remember. I know for a fact my sister had My Little Ponies. Now I got to be honest with you, was not a My Little Pony fan. I didn't really
Fair.
watch the
Totally
show.
fair.
I know it was on in the house. My sister was a big fan. I think it was definitely aimed more at young girls,
Yep.
which that was, I'd say, their key demographic. The show has a lot of fans all over the world.
Very much.
It wasn't really my cup of tea back in the day. I was
That's-
much more a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles
I think
and G.I. Joe.
girls could more go towards them versus boys going towards My Little Pony at the time. So I get it.
Ashley fell with My Little Pony and Rainbow Bright for life.
Rainbow Bright almost. If we could have just did 5 songs, it would have been on there. This was hard, you guys. Coming up with only 3 theme songs from 80s cartoons. Oh my gosh, it's hard.
Yeah, no, it's not easy, man. It really, it's not. I mean, once again, I would have liked to have put Thundercats on here, but I had to narrow it down.
Of course. So My Little Pony, and whether it's relevant to today, does it hold up? I have to say, and Chris, maybe you understand. I think this version of My Little Pony might not be as well received in this new generation of kids.
Okay. All right, so let's take a listen to the
look at that
original My Little Pony.
Look at the magical land.
Original.
My little pony, my little pony.
Oh my
In a twinkling, spring is here. My little pony.
I had all of them.
When did all the leaves and grass appear? Where there were snowdrifts, now there are no drifts, nor is the sky overcast.
You guys have to watch the video original to see the smile on Amanda's face right now.
My heart is happy.
My little pony, my little pony.
He was my favorite, that teal one.
That
one.
was your favorite.
Yep.
My little pony, breathing in the scent of
Look at them blowing up balloons with no hand. What?
birds, welcoming new birds, hopping through meadow and
Still Chris Maglia.
My little pony, winter is over for good.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, my cheeks hurt from smiling.
This is from this actually I feel like this should be your theme song.
If you could get in my head, that sound is pretty relevant.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's kind of like what is inside of Amanda's head right now. Johnny Pike. In the 80s, it was a very distinct line between girls' cartoons and boy cartoons. Yes,
Agreed.
Absolutely, 100%. Amanda needs to take those My Little Pony toys out of the attic and put them up on display. I think that should be a pressed rose. I can see that in a pressed rose storefront window.
What I will do is I will pull it out. I have a house full, even the dogs are boys, so they would be like, Mom, put the My Little Ponies away. But I will bring them out and do a reel because it's worth that at least.
Yes.
And then maybe everyone can stitch their favorite toys from the 80s.
Absolutely.
I like it.
I love it. So does My Little Pony hold up, the theme song?
In my head it does, but
does it hold up today? I will say that for me, I didn't watch the show, wasn't a fan of the show. So I'm going to say no for me because I feel like as far as your list goes, this is the lowest one for me because I actually feel like your first pick on here was a much more it held up for me. Like the Gemini hologram song, I feel like is much more relevant and holds up for me as opposed to My Little Pony. But I wasn't a My Little Pony fan,
Fair.
so I don't know if it's exactly fair for me to say it doesn't hold up or doesn't hold up. But I know I feel like it doesn't.
That's fair. That is fair. Very fair. And to Johnny's point, I think the line was so clearly drawn. And I think little girls did have a little bit more of an opportunity to like dabble in like Transformers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and it wasn't frowned upon or anything like that. So I think I do have the privilege of knowing maybe more cartoon songs than what Chris would when they're very girl driven.
Right.
So much fun. Well, okay, I understand that. I get it, Chris. I get it.
But it's no cut on you, Amanda.
No, I agree. And it still holds. If we were back in the 80s,
it's very nostalgic for you. You're a fan. You had the toy. Like, I get it. I get it 100%. You are the target demographic for My Little Pony.
Oh, yes. 1,000%. All right. Chris's second one is Transformers. And I mean, you can't go wrong with Transformers.
Yeah, I mean, it's once again, talk about influential cartoons in my life. Now, I got to tell you that and it was really, really, I laughed so hard. Now, if anybody had a chance to watch the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special that was just recently released on Disney Plus, there is a great fast joke that involves the GoBots in that special. And I laughed so hard because I actually did have a few GoBots before I got into the Transformers. And the GoBots were kind of like, it's like a weird thing. Like the GoBots were kind of like a knockoff of the Transformers, but like they kind of hit like the US, I think, a little bit faster than, and Johnny may be able to chime, I know Johnny can chime in on this because Johnny's, he's an aficionado when it comes to this. Yes. But yeah, the GoBots, like I did have like a couple GoBots, but then I went all in on Transformers. Like Transformers was way by far like the cooler toys, cooler cartoon, great storyline, Autobots versus Decepticons. Great. I was all in on Transformers. I have a bunch of Transformers still to this day, like in all these totes that are over here to my right. I gotta put all the stuff on display at some point, but definitely one of my absolute favorites. And yes, definitely a most sought after Christmas gift for sure. And you always had the friend, right? The friend who had more Transformers. Like they had the more expensive ones, like the ones that, you know, like all the ones that like that transformed into like a big like space station and things like that were like, my parents can't afford to get that for me. But like those, but you went over their house and played with them anyway. So you bring your Transformers over and played with their Transformers, and you know, and made sure everything came home. Like, but yeah, I used to have some epic Transformer battles for sure.
I love it. I have to, like, Owen has obviously not the original Transformers, but he has quite the collection himself, and I was fascinated by them. I think I didn't play with them growing up. Obviously, like I watched the cartoon, but I didn't have any growing up. But man, it was kind of fun playing with Owens. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, they were just very. I mean, I sat and played with those Transformers for hours, like, and nothing could beat that transforming sound. That we'll play the song, but for and interesting enough. So I mean, there's been so many iterations of obviously huge movies. Which, by the way, my favorite Transformers movie that came out of the live action is actually Bumblebee. And if you have not watched Bumblebee, and it was the quote unquote lowest performing one in the box office, but it is by far the best of the live action Transformers movies. You can quote me on that. But I remember going to see the Transformers movie, the animated one, in the theater and being absolutely devastated because I had no idea what was going to happen in that. So spoiler alert, every Transformer gets completely killed in that movie, and then they usher in all the new Transformers. I was heartbroken, and I still have emotional trauma to this day from watching that. I'm still scarred by that. But the run of the original G1, as it's called, G1 version of Transformers was from 1984 to 1987. That was the original G1 run. So not a bad run. Not a bad run.
No.
So let's check out the original version of the Transformers Now, a lot of people know the one that was from the movie, which was written by Lion, which was the much more metaled version of the song. But this was the original one that played during the cartoon. What's that ripping guitar?
The Transformers, more than meets the eye. Autobots wage their battle to destroy the evil forces of the Decepticons. The Transformers.
That's the best. Robots in
All that, yeah.
More than meets the eye. The Transformers.
There you go. Everything you need to know about the Transformers is in there.
Well, it's as simple as Transformers more than meets the eye. What more do they need to say?
Robots in disguise. That transforming noise is by far the best. That's the greatest noise. I don't know why. I used to have that as like a text notification on my phone.
It makes me think of like R2D2's like little noises, like the way of communication. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, it was great. I absolutely love. So we've got a ton of comments about Transformers. So first of all, Johnny reacting off the. So yes, the GoBots beat the Transformers to television by a month or two, but in the end, they could not compete with the Marvel animation storytelling and the sheer quality of toys being produced by Hasbro. Hands down, Johnny, 100% correct on that. Yes, he agrees. Bumblebee was the best. I stand by that. If you have not watched Bumblebee, please watch it. You will love it. It's got a ton of heart. It's the best out of the live action Transformers movies. Gene White, I support this message. Yes, last night I read the graphic novel Transformers Last Spot Standing. I have to read that. I've been wanting to read that. It was fantastic. And yeah, that use of triplets. Yes, I agree. The best. Does it hold up? Yes, it does.
And how do I argue with that?
Amanda Sharp, though, but seriously, what do you think? Does it hold up for you? I mean, how does it make you feel after having watched it? So that's the thing, too, is I will just make a quick note that obviously watching these and listening to them, like, it makes a big, because you, as a kid and nostalgia, like you remember the opening associated with these songs. But how does this make you feel?
You know, it makes me feel like happy. It really does. I've watched that a handful of times. It wasn't like my go-to, but I mean, I definitely watched it. And just the graphics alone, like when you're watching that opening, like theme song, it just is so 80s looking, and it just makes me smile. And I mean, as far as a brand goes, Transformers has stayed so consistently relevant.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think it does hold up. I really do. And this is 40 years later.
Yeah.
And we're talking about some solid, and the fact that our minds can remember it so well too, like it just blows my mind.
Now, I will say that if you're going to ask me which version do I prefer, right? So do I like this 80s version, or do I like the version by Lion, which is the much more metaled version in the Transformers movie? I love that version. I think that they did a great job taking that and updating it to, like, obviously what music was relevant at the time, like 80s hard rock. And it was done really well. I think, and I feel like that they elevated that theme song. So if I'm going to compare the two, I'll say the Lion versions is much better. But going back to the OG, I like it. I still think it holds up. I still love that robots in this guy. Like, I can't get over that. Like,
I wish we had about, I don't know, 10-year-olds that we made watch these.
Yes.
And see their reactions.
Yeah, really. We're jaded. We're not jaded, but we live through this stuff, so we have the nostalgia. They have no basis, so it would be great.
For sure.
Johnny, does it hold up? Maybe. All right.
Okay.
Fair.
Totally fair.
Totally fair. All right. Moving right along. So your pick number 3, Amanda Sharp, on your list. Talk about it.
DuckTales. Ooh. You know, this was the one that I didn't have any toys on. I don't know that DuckTales had a lot of toys to buy.
They did have action figures that came out because the show was done in 1987. That's when the original show was produced. It was produced by Disney Television. And it actually premiered in syndication and on the Disney Channel, which the Disney Channel was a thing back then, but it was premium. You had to pay extra for Disney Channel.
Yes, you
Even
did.
back then, you had to pay extra for Disney Channel. 1987 ran for a total of 100 episodes over 4 seasons, with its final episode airing on November 28th, 1990. It was based upon Uncle Scrooge and the Duck Universe comic book series created by Carl Banks, and the show follows Scrooge McDuck and his 3 grandnephews, Huey, Dewey, and Louie, and close friends of the group in various adventures, most of which either involve seeking out treasure or thwarting the efforts of villains seeking to steal Scrooge's fortunes or his number 1 dime.
It was a cute show.
It was.
I think the theme song is just fantastic. I think it definitely holds up. I think it's classic.
I really enjoyed watching the original version of DuckTales. When they rebooted it recently, I wasn't a fan of, I don't know, and maybe it's just because I'm old. I think it may just be I'm older now, right?
Yeah.
So, and while I do enjoy cartoons as an adult, I still very much do. Something about it, and I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm just so attached to the original series.
Yeah.
It just is great. And Johnny's saying, yes, DuckTales toys were only available at Disney stores.
Well, that's why I didn't have any, because that was not in the Patrick budget.
The Disney buying stuff at the Disney store was not cheap.
That was like upper class living.
Yeah, that was a whole other way of living. I wasn't accustomed to. So, all right, so let's listen to the DuckTales theme song and see if it holds up.
Life is like a hurricane here in Duckburg.
Duckburg.
Lasers, aeroplanes, it's a duck blur. Might solve a mystery or rewrite history. DuckTales, woo! Every day they're out there making DuckTales, woo! Tales of daring, do bad and good DuckTales. Danger, watch behind you. There's a stranger out to find you. What to do? Just grab onto some DuckTales.
So great.
Woo! Every day they're out there making DuckTales. Woo! Tales of
One of my favorite
daring,
parts.
do
So
bad
great.
and good DuckTales. Woo! Not ponytails or counting tails. No DuckTales. Woo!
Like,
So great.
cute. Gosh, it was so,
So great.
happy.
Yeah, it's such a perfect like Disney like theme
Yeah.
song for a show. And actually reminds me, I don't know why, it kind of reminds me of like Full House or something like that. It's so like
Very much.
it's very boppy.
I feel like it has the elements that are in a lot of successful songs.
Yeah. Yeah. So Ashley Farrell, love the bass and horn parts on it. I agree. Actually, you are so correct, Ashley. Re-listening to that and hearing that like bass and horn parts, it's really good. It stands out. Yeah, sort of puts out Huey Lewis vibes. Agreed. Yeah,
Fair.
very good. So John Pica, DuckTales theme song definitely holds up. It's catchy, great exposition. But do you notice a jump in higher production value? Disney got serious about this song. Yes, you are correct.
They came serious. You're right.
They came absolutely serious. Gene White loves it. James Scott, DuckTales, woohoo!
So actually, James Scott, if you are able to answer, James Scott is in the UK, as we've referenced earlier in the show. Like, were these readily available to you as you were growing up, James, or was it something that you became familiar with as an older adult, like once the internet came out?
There you go. Yeah, I know that not every American. Well, I think a lot of American shows sometimes, but I don't know. It was like
I feel like there
weird
probably was a delay getting over to other countries too. So
Yeah.
yes, you got them too, James Scott says.
There you go.
Interesting. Good to know. Good to know.
Good to know.
Oh.
So, does DuckTales hold up? Yes, it does.
I agree. It's, you know what? It has all of the same day problems.
It really does.
A lot of people trying to take your money.
to show anybody can relate to.
It really holds up right now in 2022.
Yeah. I agree though, but if you want to show your kids a really great cartoon that I still think holds up and has aged well, go back and watch the original version, the original run of DuckTales.
Yeah. And I think the names, Huey, Dewey, and Louie, like it's
so great.
It's so cute. If I had 3 of one of anything, that would be their names.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed.
If I get 3 little like turtles, there we go.
Huey, Dewey, Louie.
Huey, Dewey, Louie.
Gerbils are hamsters.
Yeah.
Guinea pigs.
Rabbits. Yes, anything. Gotta have 3 of them and boom.
Huey, Dewey, Louie.
You got it.
Love it. Yes. Gene White absolutely holds up. There you go.
Love it.
Gene. Love it,
Very
Gene. All
good.
right. So the final song on our list, once again, these lists could have gone on forever and ever and ever. But the one that made my list, because man, oh man, do I love this theme song. And I thought the show was great. And I thought it was, I just really loved it. I loved how they really incorporated at the time a lot of pop culture and all that. And that will be the Muppet Babies. And I loved the idea for this show. And I really enjoyed it. It was originally called Jim Henson's Muppet Babies, but it was shortened to just Muppet Babies. It was an American television series produced by Marvel Productions.
There we go.
And Henson Associates. The show aired from September 15th, 1984 to November 2nd, 1991 as part of the Saturday morning cartoons lineup on CBS. Due to its popularity, the show remained on television in the United States for over a decade. If you aren't familiar with the show portrayed toddler versions of the Muppets living together in a nursery under the care of a woman only known as Nanny, involving concepts of pure imagination and creative problem solving. The idea of presenting the Muppets as children appeared in a dream sequence in, if you remember, The Muppets Take Manhattan. Do you remember that one? So released 2 months before the Muppet Babies debut, the idea was a success, and Jim Henson liked the idea so much that he turned it into a cartoon spin-off. I absolutely love this theme song. I mean, this is a theme song you could definitely do at karaoke.
Could you imagine a karaoke only based on theme songs?
That's what we should do.
How successful it will be.
That's what we should do.
Yes.
The first Chris and Amanda event.
Yes.
Right? We'll have karaoke, but only cartoon theme songs.
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing.
Yeah, that is amazing. So let's check out the Muppet Babies theme song.
Here we go.
Here we go. So great. The 50s.
Oh gosh.
Room looks kind of weird and you wish that you weren't there.
So great.
I like adventure. I love great jokes.
I've got my computer. I'll play the piano.
So good.
Is everything all right in here?
Yes, Nanny.
I mean, come on.
It's so good.
Let's get real. I mean, that is just awesome. If it's even they doing like a whole 50s like style, like it's so good. Love the doo-wop, like what else could be better? And then every voice, every character gets like a turn in there. It's like, to me, that is a perfect cartoon theme song.
And Nanny's like knees down are so iconic.
Yeah.
Like you knew that was Nanny's setup.
Yeah. I mean, and you get references like what's again, like I loved how the show was with the imagination and creativity, and like you got Star Wars in there and Wizard of Oz
Wizard of
and
Oz, all the things.
So many pop culture references. What a great concept. I loved watching the show. I thought it was great. Love it. I think it's great.
You know, I think it is very relevant and stands up. I really do.
I do too. So we've got some great comments checking in here. John Pike, a guy Gilchrist who created a Muppet Babies with Jim Henson, is a good friend of mine. We'll be back on the Cereal we'll be on Back of the Cereal Box in January. Make sure you guys all set your calendars for that one.
You guys Johnny has the hookup. I'm telling
Johnny
you,
is the hookup.
go check out his YouTube channel and all his socials. It's amazing.
Back of the cereal box.
Yes.
Gotta watch and listen. Mark Ronick, Muppet Babies was Marvel. I forgot. I wish they battled Thanos at the end of Endgame. That would have been amazing, Mark. The Muppet Babies come out and defeat Thanos. That would be a good episode now, right? If the Muppet Babies back and they're doing all they imagine, and then they're in Endgame and they're battling Thanos. That would be a good one for sure. Did I miss the artist spotlight? No, James, you did not. And wasn't his name from Full House Kermit's voice in Muppet Baby? I'm not sure. That's a good question, Mark. Nanny was, what was he saying? Nanny was the Leave It to Beaver mom.
I didn't know that.
I did not know that.
See, the things we learn on the show.
Wow. Unreal. This is great. All right. And last but not least, Marvel Animation was an absolute juggernaut in the 1980s. Yes, it was. And Gene White, Chippendale, Rescue Rangers would be in my top 3 as well. Wow. Great pick.
Great pick for sure. And again, our top 3 was hard. Very hard. Oh my goodness. So Muppet Babies, totally relevant. And I can't remember exactly why, but we did do an episode where Mark Ronick was a featured guest on our show. And he chose a Muppet Babies, not Muppet Babies song, a Muppet song. Yep. And I had referenced I preferred Muppet Babies version instead of the Muppet song. So we'll have to link that episode too, because that was some fun talking.
Absolutely. Well, what a fun show. This was a great episode of the show. I think everybody had such great comments here. And Muppet Babies did Phineas and Ferb before Phineas and Ferb. You are correct.
That was in my head. Johnny, you're so right.
You are 100% correct on that. That is a great assessment.
That's a good, I like that show a lot.
Absolutely.
Well, this has been fun.
This has been absolute fun. We're not done yet, though.
No, we're not.
So while we did this show, we do have an indie artist spotlight this week. And we're super excited about this because this is coming over from the UK, courtesy, though, of Mr. James Scott. Courtesy of Mr. James Scott.
Which shows that you don't have to be the artist to actually feature the artist. So, James, thank you for thinking out of the box and paying to have us review, because I think that's super fun. Like, what an honor. Like, she wouldn't have known about the Chris and Amanda show otherwise. So,
absolutely.
Hey, now you do.
Yes. So if you would like to be, if you would like to purchase one for an indie artist that you would like to get some exposure, you can use the link in our show notes below and become a featured indie artist on the Chris and Amanda show, where we will review and give our reactions to your song and play in its entirety on the show. And today we are featuring Alex Kate's song Rebel for Love. So just a little bit about Alex Kate. Alex Kate is basically, and as I said, an artist from the UK. She's got an EP that is out now, and a lot of the reviews have really compared her to artists such as Karen Carpenter and, of course, Kate Bush, who I had said even before reading all this EPK stuff, I thought
one of our favorites
had definitely flavors of that, and I really, really love that. So what she was talking about with the song in particular that we're about to listen to is she said the name of the song came to Alex ahead of its creation. It said, the night before my writing session with Joshua Taylor, I had the phrase Rebel for Love running through my head and couldn't get it out. Heading to Forest Hill the following morning, it was a matter of time until the song was written. To me, the song is a journey from girl to woman, getting my voice back and standing against the injustice against women by being a rebel for love. The song also references a struggle that women went through in medieval times when some were being drowned because they were accused of being witches. Most times it was because they were just being outspoken. And the song was partly produced in Norway by Jorgen Manke and Danielle Newcomb, known for the pop artist Bika, and added his magical touch to the track. Alex's vocals were produced by renowned vocal producer Ashton Foster. So let's listen to a little bit of Rebel for Love.
I love it. Yeah.
Now, what I loved immediately was I love the little, whether it was intentional or not, I love the little Stevie Nicks nod there. Definitely the Kate Bush.
When I hear that, I totally hear like that Celtic tone for a boy.
Right.
Always knew just who to be. My heart is sitting at the crossroads, not knowing where to look or how long it's going to be. Packed my hopes into a suitcase, but the memories will always belong to me.
I love that. I love the chorus.
And you can just hear that he's not training to sing it.
Yeah.
He's just singing, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah. What I really dig about this song is that I think that it really shows off, and I know that she gets compared a lot to Karen Carpenter, so from a lot of reviews and things that I've read online, and I can hear a little bit of that, but I definitely hear more of the Kate Bush side of things, more than the Karen Carpenter side. But I will say that I really like the quality of the song, and I agree the production is done pretty well on this.
It is. And she has a reel on her IG, so everyone go support her on her IG, Alex Kate. And one of her reels is kind of fun. It's like a breakdown of where she had to go everywhere to complete this song, from like the video to the songwriting. It just was really cool to kind of learn a little bit of the story.
Yeah, absolutely.
And of course, when she speaks, she's got an accent, and I love accents.
So obviously, yeah, go ahead.
She's such a baby in this business too. Like, she's a fresh little baby.
Yeah. Like I listened to the song a bunch of times, man, and it's really grown on me. Like, because I love that it also has like a very like, to me, like a very like late 80s, like almost like not just, I know we've already said Kate Bush, but I feel like there's a little bit of like Cure in there. There's a little bit of Depeche Mode in there. Like, I don't know, I feel like it pulls from like a lot of my favorite like UK artists that I'm really into, and I think that that's really cool. So I love the influences. Like I even said, like you and I picked up on it right away, like the Stevie Nicks, like,
oh, instantly,
and I think that that's cool too, because I feel like when you listen to a lot of like solo Stevie Nicks stuff, there's a lot of that influence in here too. So, that's my opinion on it. But I would rate this. I would give this, if I'm going to give it a 1 out of 5 records, I would think I would give this definitely a 4 records for sure. I think it's a really well done song. I think it's well written. It sounds great. Could totally hear this like on the radio, if people still listen to the radio. I don't, some people listen to the radio, but I like it. I would give it this song. I would definitely give it a 4 records.
I'm going to mimic that. I think it's very well done. I like the tone of her voice. I like the tone of the song. I think it's great. I like the message. And I think she's adorable. And so some bonus extra points for that.
Yeah. And I agree, Ashley. Reminds me a little of Tori Amos too. Great call. Great call. Great call.
It's so interesting that you said, if like when you heard something on the radio, if people even do that, that's why it's so important for people to, like James Scott, to actually pass the word of these new artists, because people might not be listening to the radio, where they might have just randomly heard this one day and go, oh my gosh, I love that song. We have to kind of deliver it to people now. So give her some support. Fantastic artist. I look forward to seeing her growth as an artist, and her other songs that are on Spotify, I feel like are just as catchy.
Yeah, so definitely make sure you check out Alex Kate. Listen to all her music. Connect with her on TikTok, on Instagram. The link is in the show notes and video description below. Please connect with Alex Kate. Please support independent artists like Alex Kate, who are out there making really great music and putting all their heart, soul, and passion into it. Check out Rebel for Love right now on Spotify or anywhere else you can also get music. Go over to alexkatemusic.com to check out her website. And of course, as I said, all the links for Alex Kate are below in the show notes below. Thank you, James Scott, for bringing Alex Kate to our attention and putting her on our radar. Really love this song. So go and support Alex Kate. Love it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I say yeah. And so that wraps it up for another episode of the Chris and Amanda Show. What a fun episode today. Going from 80s cartoons to a great indie artist spotlight with Alex Kate. What a fun, full show. So we appreciate each and every one of you for hanging out with us today live, watching the show, participating. Oh my gosh, we had so many great comments. Gene White, Mark Ronick, John Pica, James Scott. We had
Ashley
in there, going all the way back. I'm trying to make sure I get everybody who was commenting today. Also want to thank one of our VIP supporters in Don Mattingly. Thank you so much for signing up for the Chris and Amanda Show chart topper on Buy Me a Coffee. If you'd like to show your support for the Chris and Amanda Show, once again, use the links in our show notes below, and you could also become a Buy Me a Coffee supporter as well, because it really helps. Once again, keep the lights on here. And also want to say thank you once again to our sponsor, Campsite.bio, for sponsoring the Chris and Amanda Show. Make sure you go over to Campsite.bio right now and sign up for your free account and start turning your followers into customers right now.
Boom.
Any final words, Amanda Sharp?
Oh, this was just such a fun episode. I mean, the engagement we had just made it so much fun. But it was great to like go back down memory lane and tap into some of those core memories. I loved every second of it, Chris.
Absolutely, 100%. So thank you all so much once again for checking out the Chris and Amanda Show. And we will see you very soon next week as we begin to start doing the holiday-themed episodes of the Chris and Amanda Show. Amanda's favorite time of the year.
Yes! It's finally here.
All right, everyone. Thank you all so much. See you soon.
Bye, everyone.